Everyone thinks the Allpowers S2000 Pro is the budget powerhouse that solves blackout stress and off-grid needs, but here's the thing, don't buy it until you know the problems I ran into. Because despite the 2400W inverter and that 4000W surge on paper, real-world use exposes limits you won't see on the spec sheet. In 2 weeks of testing, from a simulated outage at home to a weekend off-grid and a bench load test, I found a gap between hype and reality. The surprise, it crushes some heavy loads, yet stumbles in places that actually matter day to day. Stick with me because what looked like a no-brainer at first got complicated fast. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up, if you're already convinced and want the best price, I've got a link below. But hang on, because a couple of the issues I hit might change how you think about using this thing. I picked up the S2000 Pro because I needed a true outage backup that wouldn't wake the neighbors like a gas generator and could also pull double duty for camping and DIY projects. My last budget station claimed 2000W but choked on a 1500W space heater plus anything else. I was frustrated, skeptical, and honestly a little desperate after a recent storm reminded me how quickly a fridge full of food becomes a race against time. The Allpowers pitched 2400W continuous, 4000W surge, 4 AC outlets, 2 100W USB-C ports, 4 USB AQC 3.0, a 13V10A carport, and DC output up to 300W looked like the right middle ground. And with an Amazon rating around 4.1, I figured it had enough history to be reliable without paying BlueDye or EcoFlow money. First test, a kitchen stress run. I fired up a 1500W air fryer and a 900W coffee maker at the same time. The screen showed the load bouncing near the limit, and the S2000 Pro held 120V, 60Hz steady without tripping. Fans kicked up hard, but voltage stayed clean. Impressive. I tried adding a hair dryer for a brief burst and hit the wall fast. It shut down as the total crossed that 2700W simultaneous ceiling. Reset was quick, but it's a reminder, if you stack multiple big appliances, you're walking a tightrope. But then the job site test. Circular saw plus shop vac, intermittent surges and dirty loads that bring weaker inverters to their knees. The 4000W surge spec did its job, no hard shutdowns during short spikes. What I did notice was the fan noise ramping aggressively under sustained cuts. Not a deal breaker, but it's loud. Think dishwasher on high loud, so don't expect quiet workshop vibes. But then the overnight camping test. A small 12V fridge, LED lights, and phone laptop charging should have sipped power. And they did, kind of. The issue here is efficiency at low loads and inverter overhead. Like most stations, if you leave AC on all night, idle draw eats way more than you expect. My runtime estimates were off until I switched critical loads to DC and turned AC off. That 300W DC cap is fine for fridges, routers, and CPA piece, but if you rely on DC heavily, you'll find that ceiling fast. But then the recharge test. Wall charging was speedy enough to go from low to high in a couple hours in my case, but the trade-off was heat and noise during peak intake. Also, the app control was hit or miss for me. Bluetooth paired, then dropped once or twice. Not the end of the world, but if you want granular control or to tweak behavior without touching the unit, it's not as polished as the big brands. Here's where it gets interesting. UPS behavior. I tested it as a desktop backup. When grid power cut, my monitor stayed on, but my tower rebooted. Translation: switchover time isn't seamless enough for sensitive setups. It's fine for lights, routers, and fridges, but if you're buying this to protect a workstation or server, be careful. A dedicated UPS in front of it may still be necessary. A few more real-world notes. Build is solid, but it's hefty, so plan your placement. The screen is readable, but the remaining time estimates can swing a lot depending on load spikes. The AC side is its superpower. It'll run a microwave, coffee maker, or air fryer like a wall outlet. The DC side is the limiter. That 300W total cap means you're not driving high-draw DC tools or a bank of DC gear simultaneously. And while the 2400W continuous rating is legit, expect the battery percentage to fall fast when you hold it near max. My most surprising discovery: the headline wattage is real, but the practical ceiling is tighter because of the combined 2700W cap and the DC bottleneck. I invested 2 weeks of mixed-use testing and kept finding the same pattern. This thing shines in short, heavy AC bursts and straightforward appliance runs, but it's less magical for long, low-draw overnight scenarios unless you micromanage what's on AC versus DC. Compared to alternatives, you're trading some ecosystem polish and UPS stability for raw AC muscle at a more approachable price. Against pricier competitors, the S2000 Pro punches above its weight on output but lags on software, noise tuning, and finesse. Is it too good to be true? Not exactly. It does what it says in the power department. The hidden truth is about how you'll actually use it. If you plan to stack multiple heavy appliances, expect to babysit your load. If you need seamless UPS for mission-critical electronics, this isn't it. If you want quiet, low-draw overnight efficiency on AC, you'll need discipline or a different unit optimized for idle efficiency. Now that you know where the S2000 Pro excels and where it stumbles, grab it before stock or pricing shifts if it fits your use case. I've linked the best current price below, and I'll update that link if promos drop so you don't overpay. Bottom line, the Allpowers S2000 Pro is a heavy hitter for AC loads with a few gotchas. Buy it if you want a budget-friendly way to run real appliances, microwaves, coffee makers, power tools, and you can live with fan noise, a non-seamless UPS, and a 300W DC ceiling. Skip it if you need silent overnight AC efficiency, rock-solid UPS performance for PCs, or a refined app experience. For campers and homeowners who prioritize raw wattage over polish, it's a win. For creators, IT folks, and anyone needing clean switchover and long, quiet nights, look elsewhere. Bottom line, it's powerful but not perfect. Buy with eyes open.